morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Raven187. Raven187 was first to say first in one of my recent videos, and thus wins this shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, with a review of a new drone. This is the LS XT6 drone. This is a beginner's learn to fly drone, folks. And you can probably guess that by its size, but it's a tiny little thing, isn't it? It's real tiny, but it is a folding drone, okay, intended for beginner pilots who wish to learn how to use the controls of a drone, how to fly a drone, particularly manually, in that this does not have any GPS capability, and it does not have any optical flow capability, even though it has a bottom camera on it. But you are going to need to learn how to fly this manually, folks. So again, this is intended for those who wish to learn how to fly a drone, particularly those who are eventually going to probably progress to like a FPV racer style drones that are flown manually. You'll learn how to do such with this particular drone. But let's go over its features. First off, again, it is a very tiny little drone. It is a folding drone for portability. You can actually throw the controller and this in your pocket. You know, fold it up and put it in your pocket. But another advantage of this is it's under 250 grams and does not require registration in most countries. And also, because of its size, it's very unobtrusive, very silent. You know, it's not a noisy drone at all. You are not going to have neighbors complaining about this, is what I'm trying to convey to you folks here. In fact, while I was flying this, you will see a police car drove by and didn't even give it a second thought. So, you know, this is not likely not to get you in trouble, is what I'm trying to convey. Okay, I mentioned under 250 grams. Again, it will not require registration in most countries. However, it does have a camera. So those countries that do require registration of camera drones, this one has a camera, unfortunately. Keep that in mind. Other things about it, let me pick it back up again. It uses 716 brushed motors. Okay, these are brushed motors, but it is it's a rather common motor, the 716 size. So you should be able to find replacement motors for this if that motor does indeed fail. And I believe you can access it by just popping these 3 screws off, and you'll be able to get access to the motor in the arm of this particular drone. Now, it is also powered by a little 3.7 volt 500 milliamp hour battery. However, since this drone is so little itself, this will give the drone up to 12 minutes of flight time. In fact, while I was flying it in rather aggressive flying, I was able to get about 10.5 minutes flight time from a single charge of this battery. So it does give it a reasonable amount of flight time. I mentioned the cameras. It is dual cameras. You have a front camera, which you can tilt up and down manually. Let me double check to make sure that's true. Yeah, up and down manually. And also, it has a belly camera. And you can switch between these two using the app if you want to take a front picture or a picture looking directly downward from the drone. However, you'll see I had a little bit of difficulty switching between these two cameras out in the field. You know, when you're flying a manual drone, it's difficult to press the buttons at the same time on the app. So keep that in mind, folks, about switching cameras switching between these two cameras. But let's go into detail about these cameras. Now, it is advertised with 4K photo capability and 1080p video capability. 1080p at 20 frames per second. And indeed, it does record to your phone at 4K photos and 1080p videos. However, you'll see, you know, the quality of that video is obviously being interpolated from a much lower resolution sensor of this camera. I'm guessing about 640, maybe 480p. And when I'm saying interpolated, I'm talking about electronically enlarging the video and photos to the 4K and 1080p resolution from, again, a much lower resolution camera. So keep that in mind, folks. And in reality, you know, in this price range, do not expect to get a true 4K camera or even a 1080p camera on a drone at this price range. Okay, this is under $50, so don't expect to see true 4K in that price range. You're just being unrealistic. But again, one of the things I want to talk about is, you know, it does have FPV capability though. You are able to view the video, real-time video on your phone using its KY FPV app available on Google Play and iTunes. And another thing is This uses 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So this will work with most people's phones. You don't need a 802.11 AC phone with this. This will work with most phones, the Wi-Fi signal from this. However, it is rather narrow field of view image that you are getting from this camera. So what that means is it will be somewhat difficult to fly this FPV if your intent of purchasing this is to fly it FPV. You know, you relying on the video feed from the camera to control the drone. Really, folks, you need to control this through line of sight only. Okay, again, the field of view is so narrow that it would be too difficult, really, to fly this true FPV using the video feed only. Okay, so bringing that, summarizing this, again, this is a toy drone. Keep in mind it's a toy drone, and you'll be happy with it. If you're thinking you're getting a 4K cinematic camera, cinematic drone, you will probably be unhappy with this drone. Okay, again, beginners learn to fly. Intro to drones is the purpose of this particular drone. So let's go over what you get in the packet. You get the instruction manual for the drone in Chinese and English, and also you get an instruction manual for the KY FPV app. One thing I want to mention, though, is I had a little bit of difficulty connecting this drone with my Armor 6E Android phone, but I switched to an older Android phone that I had, and I had no problem at all. So I really can't explain what the problem is with the connection. I was able to connect, but I was not able to record the video with my newer phone, and I don't know what the problem is, why that happened. So, but we'll just continue on here. Again, you get the drone. You get the option of purchasing 1, 2, or possibly even 3 batteries. Again, I always recommend, if you are considering purchasing additional batteries for your drone, I recommend purchasing them at the time of purchase, as you may have difficulty buying these separately afterwards. So get them when you purchase the drone, if you do intend to fly multiple batteries with the drone. You also get a charger for the drone, a little pin specific charger, and I'm going to show that on the battery, that these batteries, have a little pinhole. Okay, this does not use micro USB connectors as many other drones do. This has a little pin connector, so you are going to need to use this particular battery charger with the drone. Now, other things you get in the package, you get a screwdriver to change the props in case you ever damage the props. You get a spare set of props, and you get prop guards. Now, these prop guards, you won't see me flying them outdoors, as they do degrade flight performance. But if you are going to fly indoors, I strongly recommend that you include these props. Again, since this is a manually flown drone, you want to protect those props using these guards. And you get the controller. Let's go over the controller. There is no telemetry on this controller. You got the on-off switch right here. The buttons on this particular controller. Okay, this is your phone holder. I was able to hold my phone, but closing it down. The buttons on this particular controller. This button here is for adjusting the rates to make the drones fly faster. You'll hear 2. And there's even a third, higher rate for sport flying of the drone. It does have flip capability. Okay, since this is a toy drone, where again I'm happy to see the flips coming back. But you can activate flip by pressing this button here. You get this beeping noise, and you tell it which direction to flip, either left, right, forward, back, by pressing the right stick. And since there we go. Now I'm connected and able to do such. Other buttons on this, we have a automatic takeoff and automatic landing button, which you press. Automatic takeoff is here, and automatic landing is here. It has 1 key return, and what key return is, and you activate it by pressing this button here. But what that does is the drone will fly backwards down the direction it was pointed at takeoff. It is not true return to home, so don't depend on this to return to home. But if you took off and press this button, the drone, no matter which direction it's pointed, will fly in the exact opposite direction. As long as you keep it in front of you, that should be not a problem. But if you fly off to the left or right and activate this button, it actually might fly away from you. So again, do not depend on this button as return to home, as it is not. It does have headless mode capability, which you activate by pressing this button here. And it does have some trim for pitch and roll, which you activate by pressing these buttons here. So that is the controller for the XT6. And that is what you get in the package. So let's take this little drone out into my front yard here and see how it flies. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and a beautiful morning to test flight the XT6. Now I already turned this on and connected its Wi-Fi signal to my phone and opened the app. So we're ready to go here, folks. We're going to put the drone on the ground here, and we'll try the automatic takeoff first. There we go. Okay. Now I'm curious whether this it has an optical flow system or not. It seems to be drifting, so I don't think so. Okay, but it is easy to fly. So the altitude hold's working well. Now the first thing I need to do is start the video recording. Video recording is started. And let's bring it over toward me here. And show up in the photo. Coming up. And say, how do you like my shirt today, folks? And there's the police there. Hello, Mr. Policeman. But it's a fun little drone. Okay, let's try its ability to fly in the yard here. Now, I haven't tried out its one feature here, which is for beginners, and that's that flip feature. Let's try that. There's a flip. Coming forward. And do a forward flip next. Or back flip. Oh, it does flips real nice. Let's go to higher rate. See how it flies at high rate. Coming by us. Does funnels well. Coming over, going the other direction. Funnels in that direction. And a flip. Forward. And another flip. Does these flips nicely. For those of you beginners that like to do the flips. And it does them automatically. You just press the button, then move the stick the direction you want it to flip. Let's try that again. Coming down lower and up, showing me. That's its camera again, folks. You know, these cheaper drones do not have 4K cameras, no matter what they advertise, folks. You're not going to get a 4K camera for under $100 on a drone. You know, just keep in mind they are toy drones. But they're good to learn to fly with, as this one is. Let's go over that direction, coming up. You know, let's see if we can see Lake Erie. Going up higher, just above the house. And no, you're not going to see Lake Erie with this. But coming down, don't hit the tree. But yeah, again, the camera is really low resolution. And again, you're not going to get a high resolution camera in this price range. It just ain't going to happen. Got a little bit of a wind here. So, staying in the yard there, coming over. Okay, going around, turning around, coming inbound. Full speed and flip. Wow. Let's go over in the street and do the same. Full speed. Let's do a diagonal flip. Not forward flip. Okay, back to the camera again. Flying FPV with this. Well, it's kind of a narrow field of view. Actually, a very narrow field of view with this camera. So it would be kind of difficult to fly FPV with this alone. But again, this is meant as a beginner's learn to fly drone, this particular drone. And I think it's actually a nice drone for such purposes. Hard to see that little black drone. But its lights, those front lights, those come in nice, don't they? You know, you can. That helps a lot with orientation, maintaining orientation on this little drone, on the XT6. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the video camera because I want to try something next, and that's taking a photo. Okay, where is that photo button? I can't see it. I see the video camera. Where's the photo button? I'm sorry folks, I'm trying to look at the screen and fly the drone at the same time. It's kind of hard, but there's the photo button. Take a photo of me. Come over here. It's on the far left and the wind's picking up. And what did I do, folks? Hold on, let me land it for a second. 1 second. Land button. Okay, hit start again. Now, Maba's in. Is still recording. That's what I wanted to see. Now, we're going to, okay, I got the button there for the photos, so now I know where it's at. Automatic takeoff. And take a photo. I wanted a photo of me. Got to time this right. Got it. Yeah, because that narrow field of view, it's hard to take a photo, especially when there's wind of your subject. Okay, if there's no wind, yeah, this will work fine. But okay, for the remainder of this, let's start the video camera again. The video camera is recording, going up again to show the camera. And that's its camera, folks, rotating around the area. But again, narrow field of view, I can see that right now. And not true 4K. Actually, I'm not sure this one is advertised as 4K, to tell you the truth. But it is not. Just keep that in mind. Okay, going down the street. And the remainder of the flight, we're going to go, this is super high rate, third rate. Let's come over here closer. And try funnels in the high rate. Coming up wind. Left funnel. Coming back over. And a flip. Still got power to flip, so the flight time on this is relatively good. Low rate. Intermediate rate. I got to stay in intermediate rate because of the wind today here, but okay, let's get some thumbnails showing it up close. Going up a little higher. Now, there's that bottom camera. Again, that bottom camera is just for taking pictures. I don't know if I want to, let's see if I can rotate that camera. Where's that camera switch? It's in the settings and it's kind of hard to do, but let's lower it. We'll land it first. Land it. Stop the video recording. And let's see if we can find that other camera. Flip camera. I'm looking on my screen here. And there it is. The second camera is in the lower right corner. I'm pressing it, but it's not swapping, folks. So I don't know how to switch to that lower camera. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work with my app. And I'm pressing that button in the lower right corner. But it doesn't seem to work. So we'll go back to closing that and starting the video camera one more time and selecting the takeoff button. The next thing we're going to try is headless mode. Pushing forward. Okay, that's the direction it was pointed at takeoff. Let's land it real quick. And I'll show you what the headless mode does, folks. I pressed the land button. We're going to point the drone in this direction here. So that'll be forward. Behind me will be back. Right is this direction and left is that direction. And when we're in headless mode. So we're going to hit automatic takeoff, activating headless mode. And that should be forward. No, wait a minute, I activate headless mode again. Now we're in headless mode. And it's confusing. Apparently that's forward. It's the direction it's pointed when you activate it. So let me turn it off. Okay. Headless mode can be very confusing, folks, especially even to me. So, I use it mainly in GPS drones for using panning shots, doing panning shots. Okay, my lights seem to be blinking right now. So that's in it. See the light blinking? That's an indication the battery is getting low, so keep that in mind. We want to keep it close for the remainder of the flight. So we'll try to do that. Okay, it won't flip anymore either when it's in low battery. That's another indication that you'll know that your battery is getting low and is getting ready to time to think about landing. But let's get a lower thumbnail picture of it up close of the drone. I hope that's coming in. And we'll fly it until it lands. It should land itself on low battery. Now back in the old days, about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when you get low battery, you had to use a watch or a timer to remind yourself when the battery's getting low, because there was no indication. And when the battery did end, it usually ended by the motor stopping and the drone dropping like a rock onto the ground with the older drones. Nowadays, no, they give you a battery indication. Some of them actually even includes telemetry that beeps. Your controller will beep to let you know that the battery's low. But when the battery finally ends, okay, we're in rapid. See rapid blinking? So now we know we're really low in battery. See the rapid blinking? So we'll see what it does. Will it drop from the sky like the old drones, or will it just land itself? I got a feeling it's just going to land itself. Really low battery. And we'll get the flight time out of it too. So, no more flips. Coming back over, pushing forward. And by the way, did I say how do you like my shirt today, folks? Okay, there's the flight time and stopping the video. Trying again to stop the video. So, that is the XT6. Not a bad little drone. It's a beginner's learn to fly drone, folks. Not for cinematic photography, not for FPV flying, just to learn the basics of flight. And this is more than adequate. Nice little drone. So, hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.